Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Mesillas Yesharim, and today, Be'ez Hashem, we will conclude chapter 20 in the world of Yardstick of Piety. And he's been explaining up until this point just how careful a person has to be to make sure that even though you want to be a chassid and do an act that you would consider to be piety, you have to make sure that you're not going to be mafsid the schar behefseda, that you're not going to lose out on the reward that you're going to have with the ultimate loss, which means that if at the end of the day the Chassidus is going to be misinterpreted as something that's not real piety, and rather it will create some kind of a chilo Hashem or the like, then you're better off not to do the thing that you think is going to make you into a chassid. And he illustrates over here with the following story from the Gemara. There is a story with Rabbi Tarfain which will prove the point that we are making. There's a machlekes, there's a discussion between an argument between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel when it comes to the recital of the Shema. It says by the Shema that when you lay down at night and when you rise up in the morning. So Beis Shammai says that when it says that you lie down at night to say the Shema, that means you actually have to be laying down to say the Shema to fulfill the obligation of that verse. And Beis Hillel says whether it's the nighttime, whether it's the morning, you can be sitting, you can be standing, you don't have to lay down. Rabbi Tarfon wanted to be machmer, wanted to be stringent, like the opinion of Beis Shammai, and therefore whenever it came time to the nighttime Shema, he would always lay down. So what happened? He was once traveling along the road at nighttime, and it was time to say the Shema, and he was riding on a donkey, and he got off the donkey, Rabbi Tarfon, and he laid down on the ground, but while he laid down on the ground, he left himself open up to the attack of bandits that were there in the neighborhood. And the sages said to Rabbi Tarfon, Kedaya yisa lochai be'atzmecha, shavarta al divrei Beis Shammai, al divrei Beis Hillel. Had it been that these thieves would have attacked you, it would have been fitting that you should have got harm come to yourself. Why? Because you went against the words of Beis Hillel. And Beis Hillel says that you can recite the Shema in any position that you want to. Even though Rabbi Tarfon was being strict, and which means that he thought he's doing an act of Chasidus, nevertheless, since that his act of Chasidus left him open to danger and the like, and besides that, he went against the opinion of Beis Hillel, as we will see in a moment, who's the prevailing opinion. So therefore, that's not piety. That is a stringency that is not going to have the desired effect. This whole machlekes, the dispute between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, is a very heavy burden for Klal Yisrael. There's a great controversy that goes between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the Gemara decides that the halach is always like Beis Hillel. So whenever you have a question in dispute between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai, the halacha always follows Beis Hillel. Hine kiyuma shel Torah shegmar din ze Yesharim b'chol toikev lad ulami omim. Says the Ramchal, you should understand this to mean that the continuity and the survival of the Torah depends upon this halachic resolution over here, which means that what? That the halach is always going to be like Beis Hillel. And it should not get weakened in any way. Because if some people will do like Beis Shammai and others will do like Beis Hillel, it'll look like, God forbid, that there are two Torahs that we have. One for the Beis Hillel nix and one for the Beis Shammai nix. And we don't want the Torah to look like that. We want one Torah for all of Klal Yisrael. And therefore, according to this Mishnah that we're quoting, therefore, it would have been better for Rabbi Tarfon over here to hold like Beis Hillel, even though that it's going to be a kula, it will be a leniency that he can stay on his donkey while he's reading the Shema and not dismount and lay down on his side. Then to be machmer, to be stringent like Beis Shammai. That's the real Chassidus. Real Chassidus is doing what is correct and what is right to ensure the continuity of Torah. And if you are going to do something in your world of piety that's going to diminish the continuity and the existence of Torah, that itself is going to be an issue. And this lesson that the Mishnah is teaching us over here should serve for us like a guide so that we know which path the light of Torah is going to dwell on. L'asais hayashar be'enei Hashem, in order that we should do what is straight and upright in the eyes of Hashem. So as we conclude chapter 20 over here today, it's very clear to us that in order to be a true chassid, you must know that what you're doing is real chassidus, or perhaps what you're doing is going to end up causing problems and issues and difficulties. As long as you can discern that there's only going to be spiritual benefits for yourself, for your family, for the people around you, for Klal Yisrael, then go ahead, be a chassid in that area. But if it would suit you better not to be so stringent, not to take on so many details of halacha because you want to go above and beyond the letter of the law, showing your great piety, but it's going to end up causing blemishes in your own service of Hashem, your family service, your children, and the like, then the real chassid knows when to desist and when to withdraw from extra stringencies and serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'temimus halev, with the purity and the innocence of the heart. Have a wonderful day.